Alright, we have a couple of web pages, we have a cascading style sheet. Now we need to put those things up on the internet. The way you do that is, first of all, you need to have a web host. If you're at KU, if you're a KU student, you can go to the academic web computing accounts, and when this opens up, we will get some options. What you want to do is add online services to your already existing KU ID. If you're not at KU, or if you want to use a different host, you can get those things through GoDaddy and lots of other web hosts, but we're just going to use the KU one here because it's free. You get 50 megabytes of storage as a KU student, and it works pretty well. Alright, you log in by using your username and your password. Now what I want to do is I want to add services right here, personal web space. I'm going to click that. Now I already have one. What you need to do is check this box and then click Save Changes. Once you've done that, you'll see this right here. That is your web space. Now if I copy that, you're going to see some weird stuff there. This is a different tutorial I was doing for class, and you can see there's all kinds of funky stuff going on there. And the reason that shows up is that this is actually my index.html page. Or it's actually my index.html page. Or whatever it's called. Okay. So, there you are. You're set up. You have a page. The next thing that you need to do, once you've got that, is you need to have a way to be able to move those files to the internet. So, go down here, free program downloads. If you're using a Windows machine, WinSCP is free. All the KU computer labs have this installed on them. There's also Macintosh has several different programs. These are free programs. You can get more that cost you money, but why not get this, right? The tutorial that I showed you before will give you the steps for how to download this. But basically, you just go there. You go to the most recent one here. You go to the download page, and you download the installation package. Once you've done that, once you've installed it, you can go to your programs. Here's my WinSCP. Here's the program I want. That's going to open up this box right here. Now, I manage several different websites. The one that I'm going to go to is the people.ku one. So I am going to open that. Well, that's actually already loaded up. I've already saved this program. And when it opens, alright, so you go to your programs folder, open up WinSCP. Here's the program you want to use. Now what I'm going to do is, I manage several different websites. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new one to show you how to step through this. The host name is people.ku.edu. If you're using a different web host, use whatever they give you. Notice there's no HTTP, no W's, just this. Don't mess with the port number. 22 is correct. Your username is whatever username you've been given at KU. For me, it's CMAKit. And then you do your password. And then make sure it's secure FTP. Then you say log in. Now, I don't have a whole lot of other steps here because I've already logged in through this before and I've entered a password and everything else. So normally you'll get the passwords, requests, and everything else like in the tutorial that I showed you. All of your files need to go in this folder. Here is the internet. This is your web space. I have several more folders on mine just because I use this for a lot of other things. Here is my local computer, all the different folders on this computer. So where I'm working right now would be the Tech Writing website, and I'm doing a under sample CSS websites. Okay, so here's where I have the files I'm working on. I just have a very complicated file system. These are the different things we've just been working on now. They need to go into the public underscore HTML folder. This is our class website. Here's all the things that we have going on our website right now. So I'm going to put these on the internet, and the way I do that is just by migrating them. I'm going to drop them into this folder. It doesn't matter where you put them. I'm going to select these, drag, drop, and you can see they're being transferred right now. Right now it's going a little bit slowly because I'm uploading the Cascading Style Sheets tutorial, which you'll be able to see here in a minute as well. Alright, there are the different files that are my web page that I've just been working on. Notice the date changed right here. One of the nice things about a program like this is you can tell which one's most recently changed. So if I were to work on a different computer, all I need to do is get this WinSCP working, and then I can compare my local computer, what's newer, with what's on the internet, and make sure I download if it's newer here or upload if it's newer here. If I want to edit one of these, I can just, well, here, I'll just do that right now. I'm going to right click this and I'm going to say open this with, and I'm going to choose Notepad++. It's not giving me that as an option here. But normally what you can do is you can just say open with and whatever you've installed. Now for some reason my Notepad++ isn't showing up here. Alright, if I were to open it from here, it should do that. Ah, there it is, edit with Notepad++. Let me see if it does that. Okay, and I'm going to edit this with Notepad++. And then any changes that I want to make, I can do to that right now. Okay. Alright, so imagine I want to put a picture as a background on my page. Go to your web links page. For one thing, we have lots and lots of background, image, reference, samples, so forth. Scroll down. What these are is sort of basic textures that you can use for backgrounds. What I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this one, almost white. Now I'm going to right click it and say save link as, because what I want is I want to save this. Oh, interesting. Let me first view the image. Alright, so here's the actual the image. So I'm going to save the image as, there we go, in my folder where I'm currently working. So what I've done, if we look at that folder, there it is. So I'm going to rename, not actually rename, of course, it's just a handy way to be able to copy the file name. I'm going to go into my style sheet and I'm going to put another attribute here. I'm going to say, I'm going to put a background image in place. So the way that this works is background hyphen image colon URLs, just like a URL for the internet, and then you use a regular parentheses and then put the name of the file, close that parentheses, semicolon, save it. Now you can check out what it does, and it replaces that plain color background with a texture. Alright, and you have like that sort of deal. Alright, sometimes you don't want, see how it scrolls, the picture moves with it? Sometimes you don't want that. You could simply add something right here. It's called background hyphen repeat, and then the value of that is no repeat. I save it, go back to my page, refresh. The way I keep that from moving is I add a new value here, and it's going to be background hyphen attachment, and that is going to be fixed. And what that'll do is keep those same background, but notice it doesn't move now. Let's say instead I want to have a picture like this in my background. This is maybe not a great one. I mean, the black would be great. The white might be good, but the combination could be challenging. But anyway, I'm just going to show you what I can do. I'm going to save this image as this name right here. I'm going to call it orbital debris, blah, blah. It's in my same folder again. This is important because if you're going to put a name like this for the URL, notice there's no HTTP, there's no www, all that stuff. What that does is that looks in the same folder for the same file, just like when we made the link between the pages. Alright, so there it is. I'm going to do the same little trick with rename, copy the whole thing, including, notice .jpg wasn't initially selected, I had to grab that. I'm going to replace this, that one, I'm going to save it, go back to my file, refresh, and there it is. And it stays fixed in the background. Notice it tiles. Maybe I don't want it tiling like that, repeating, just like that little one did. I want to have just a single image for the entire page. Well, let's go back in here and then edit that. And that'll be an attribute called background repeat. I don't want it to repeat, so then I would say no repeat. Save it. Let's take a look, see how that looks. Refresh. There it is. Now that's kind of ugly, isn't it? So there's another thing that you can do. I'm going to add another attribute here, and that is I'm going to say background hyphen size. Now what this is going to do is make that image 100% the width of the page. Notice it's fixed, so it's not doing anything. It makes that image way bigger, right? Because what we're seeing is only the top part here, stretched out to 100%. That makes it much taller as well. Now, because of this particular image that I'm using, I might not want to use fixed. Let's save that. Let's go back here, refresh. Now, as I scroll down, you can see the UFO, you can see the clouds, and then it reverts to the background color. So what I recommend doing is using a color that's commensurate with what your image is. Yellow, not really it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my references here. I'm going to look for colors. The HTML color code is a good reference for this because it shows you the actual color. We've been so far just using names, but you can also use these hexadecimal names. Then you get a lot more gradations, and it looks like what you see over on this side. So, oh, I don't know, sky blue, that sounds like the color we're looking for. That'd be this one here. Nice thing when you click the color, it gives you a complementary color. What would look nice together with this? So what you use is just this part right here. Get the pound sign and all the numbers and letters. So instead of having that background color of yellow, I'm going to make it that particular blue. So when I go here and refresh, I'm going to get that. Yeah, it's not perfect, but you get the idea. You can keep playing around with that as much as you like to find what works best for you. Now remember, anything that you list, like a picture like this, to be visible on the internet also has to be moved from your local folder to the internet. So I'm going to go to my WinSCP, my file transfer protocol. Here's my picture. It's not here yet, so I need to make sure to bring that over here. Now it's been moved to the internet. Same thing on my style sheet. I've changed it. 2:45 in the morning. It's pretty late here. So I'm going to move that over here, and that overwrites what was there before. I probably want to move this little image as well. This is that background tiling image I used. And everything else is up to date. Alright, so let's go take a look here and see what we get. Looks great. If I click go to page 2, look at that, it has the same background, and it has the same background and background colors by default because they both have that style sheet linked to them, right? Here, link style sheet, there's page 2, link style sheet, here's the name of the style sheet, there's the style sheet with those different changes, attaches to both of them. Alright, so now let's take a look at what we've got. Notice, we are looking at it here. Never use this kind of a thing as a link. This is not the internet. This is your computer. Nobody but you can see this. If instead I want to see this page and see how it looks on the internet, well, it lives there, right? There's all my files. There's, let's see if I look, there it is. There's the tutorial I'm working on. So in my public_HTML folder, I put it inside of this folder. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that path, because what I'm going to do is instead of looking at it locally, I'm going to look at it on the internet. So this is going to be, let's see here, I'm just going to people.ku.edu, there we go, there's mine, and it's a tilde, that's this little symbol, see if we could, there's that, and I paste in that path. This is the folder I'm working in. Normally you wouldn't need to do that. That's just because I'm working in that folder. Notice you don't need to say public_HTML. That's the default. But once I've gone into my separate folder here, I want to go to the tutorial. So I'm just going to rename, copy that, go back here. I'm going to drop this after that. And there it is. Now look at that. This is the internet. There's my picture. This picture is on Tumblr. This version of it I have saved onto my website. Page 2, also up here. Everything works because it's all in this folder. It's all on the internet. There's the picture I'm using. Here is the style sheet that's connected to everything, page 2, and the tutorial. Any picture that you want to show has to be up here. If you don't see it here, no one else is going to be able to see it. If it's on your computer, it might look like you can see it because there it is, but nobody else can see on your computer. Your computer is not a web server. Alright, let's add one more item, shall we? So I'm going to go to YouTube. Here's a video I want to use. All I have to do if I want to share this on my website is I go to share. I'm going to use embed. Make sure you use the old embed code, because if you don't, it's going to give you a frame. You don't want to use frames, but a lot of browsers don't work well with those. If you're using divs, it can mess things up. Use the old embed code. This is an object, so you don't need to do anything. You just copy after you select all that. Go back to your page. I want to put that on my page 2. Okay, so somewhere in my page, how about here? I'm going to make a little room for it and paste in that object. Save it. Let us make sure to move it to the internet. We want to be able to look at it. Now I'm going to be looking at it on the internet instead of on my local computer. So there's my page 2. I refresh. Scroll down. What do you know? There's a video. I can play that directly on my web page. And it's loading. And it plays. Here we go. We got snow on the first day of spring. Haha. Nature has a sense of humor.
Alright, I hope you found that helpful. If you have any kind of questions or suggestions, let me know and I'll make some edits to this, make some additions, perhaps make some additional one. Good luck, have fun.